Welcome back to the show. It is a joy for me to welcome the president of Baylor University to the podcast today because, well, I've been wanting to sit down with you, President Linda Livingstone, for quite a while. And we've talked about it for a good while. The last long sit down I think we had was in your office when you had just become the president of Baylor, and that was 8 years ago.
It's hard to believe it's been that long. And I remember that sit down well, Ann, and it's a real privilege to sit down with you again. I appreciate the invitation and excited about what you're getting to do with this podcast.
This has been fun because I have had the best time talking to, a lot of different people, newsmakers, leaders like yourself, Mayor of Waco, you name it. But I love talking to folks that are just seeing a need and doing something about it. I mean, those stories to me are so compelling, and they're not doing it for the accolades or to be on a show or anything. So anyway,
and there are lots of interesting people in Waco doing really amazing things. So the fact that you're highlighting that and telling their stories is really special.
Well, and so many of them are at Baylor. So many of them are professors that authors, and I've loved getting to visit with more and more of those good folks. Of course, I've got full disclosure, I'm a Baylor grad. Okay, here we go.
Just a couple of years ago.
I know. Okay, now do we need to get into that? Because
no, we don't.
I am now going to be a member of the Golden Bear Club or whatever we call it. If you've been graduated 50 years. 50
We
years.
Love our loyal long-term alumni. We hope they are around for many, many more years.
You're in there too. I mean,
I'm not far behind with my graduate degree or my undergrad at Oklahoma State.
Right. And of course, you spent time in the School of Business as a professor.
Right.
And so let's first, before we go any further, we're just a couple of weeks off from the first classes. Can you believe it? The first classes for the fall semester. Just your thoughts on the start of this new school year.
Well, I always look forward to the beginning of the school year. You kind of look forward to the break you get in the summer. I mean, we have a lot going on in the summer, but we don't have near as many students on campus. And so that's kind of nice to regroup and get ready for the fall. But it is always so exciting to look forward to the fall. And we have had families and students on campus all summer doing orientation and line camp, and they're so excited about coming to Baylor. They have had such a great experience in the preparation and in their time in orientation and line camp, and they cannot wait to get here in the fall. And move-in is such a special and unique experience on our campus, and then welcome week. So we're looking forward to welcoming all the certainly new freshmen back and new transfer students, but also to welcoming back our students that have been away all summer doing internships, camps, international travel, all kinds of interesting things that they get to come back and tell us all about.
Well, I always love to see the video of you helping them move in and their tubs, Of course, there's been a lot of renovations on campus. Those are residence halls that have, some of them closed down for a while.
Yes, we had Allen and Dawson closed down over this past year to completely remodel them. So they will be open. I'm going to tour them we just toured them. They're amazing. It's a beautiful place, and we can't wait for the students to move in. So that's been remodeled. We are Coconut, which is our last classic residence hall that needs to be remodeled, will be offline for this current school year, and then we will open it back up next fall. And so we're really excited. The remodeling of those classic residence halls has been really spectacular, and the students have loved kind of the way we've redone that to keep that classic feel, but modernize them in ways that are really important for our students.
Yeah, well, I lived in North Russell for a semester. That's one of the newer ones, though. So
it was remodeled before I came back.
Right,
but yes, it's we kind of consider it a classic residence hall.
It's pretty classic. Yeah. Anything with my time there is going to be a classic now. That's just the way it is. But of course, aside from the residence halls, the classrooms and so forth. I mean, what's kind of new? What's the most recent thing that's been updated
right
on campus?
Well, last year we did a major update in our honors college. And so that really happened going into last fall. So that was also an update to a Memorial and Alexander Residence Hall, which is our honors college residence halls, and really created much more of a community space and even some classrooms there. And then we pulled all our honors college faculty together last year to they were spread out all over campus because they're it's an interdisciplinary college and they're in different departments. And so we remodeled some space in the center of campus for the honors college faculty to come together. So this will be the second year of that, and I think that's been a really special thing. And I think they're still kind of getting knowing what that's like to be together, and it really is going to help continue to build community in our honors college. It's a special place on our campus with some really amazing and outstanding students and faculty.
Yeah, of course, during your tenure, some amazing facilities, the
Foster Pavilion, the Hurd Welcome Center.
Yeah. Oh, Hurd is just amazing.
It's a game changer for how we can recruit students.
Yeah.
The complete remodel of Tidwell Bible Building, which is another one of those.
I need to tour that one too.
Yes, you do. And it's beautiful. And we kept stained glass and the classic feel, but modernized it for how we need to do classes today, and had some wonderful partners come along with us to make that possible, because it is very much a historic building on our campus. So we've been very fortunate with the generosity and support of the Baylor family to allow us to do some of these really spectacular projects that have dramatically changed the experiences that both our students, our faculty, staff, and then frankly the broader Baylor family have when they come to our campus.
Well, and speaking of raising money, the Give Light campaign,
Right.
$1.5 billion. Is that what I read?
That is what you read. So last summer, we celebrated the conclusion of the Give Light campaign, and that was designed to support the Illuminate strategic plan that we launched right after I came. And our goal was $1.1 billion. And
overachiever.
I know.
That's good.
It's always good to overachieve in fundraising.
Yeah.
And we closed out last summer at $1.5 billion. And honestly, just blew us away the way people came beside us and supported so many things, and certainly some of those facilities you talked about. But probably one of the most important things in that was the matching gift we got for endowed chairs. And that was part of the Foster gift. And it allowed us to really transform for years to come the kind of faculty we can recruit, the quality from a research, teaching, Christian mission perspective in terms of national and international reputation. And so we have at least 40 now endowed chairs at $3 million or more. And that was really started with that matching gift from the Fosters. And we were amazed at the people that walked alongside us in that. And we're still in the process of hiring those faculty as we're continuing to close out those gift commitments. But that's transformational for a university, and couldn't be happier with the quality of faculty academically and their commitment to our Christian mission.
That's good stuff. Speaking of scholarships and the cost of going to Baylor, one thing I've noticed over the years at church, when it's graduation Sunday, and all the graduates march in their robes, it's just precious. And they'll say, so-and-so is going to A&M, whoop, all that kind of thing. Over the years, of that large group of students, maybe 3 or 4 were going to go to Baylor. And now it's like most of them.
I love hearing that.
Talk about transformation.
Sure.
No, it really is. They were going to A&M. They were going up to Oklahoma. They were going out of state, but they weren't staying at Baylor. And I think it has to do with the amount of money that has now been generated to help them with the cost.
I think there's certainly many things that factor in there, but absolutely our focus on affordability and completion for our students is so important. It's actually one of the really strategic imperatives in our new strategic plan. And so we have really leaned into raising scholarships for students, whether those are endowed scholarships, whether they're merit-based or need-based. And we've looked at also other ways we can reduce the cost by getting students through graduation quicker. Shortening the time to graduation is one of the best ways to help students make it more affordable so they don't drag out their time here. We just launched this year an Extend the Line campaign, which is designed to really bring in even more resources from a scholarship perspective. As we wrapped up the last large campaign, the $1.5 billion. This is kind of a mini campaign over the next 5 years to help fund scholarships. So I think it's been really important to do that, especially for students that have need and really should be at Baylor. And I think that, combined with the continued growth of our academic reputation, our focus on research — we have a lot of undergrads that want to do research — I think it's that combination. But you're absolutely right. The affordability piece is critical to students feeling like they can come to Baylor.
Well, and I remember you told the most wonderful story when you were giving your remarks at our Golden Bear dinner that I attended, about a student that you were able to surprise with a full ride.
Yes, so we had a dinner right at the end of the semester to honor those that had given to scholarships for our students and in other ways. And so we sat students at each table that had received a scholarship from those folks. But we had a young man, he's a pre-med major, he's from Colorado, and we decided that we were going to pick a student that was really an exceptional student that had financial need to surprise with a full ride scholarship. And so this young man, I had him come up to the front. I told him I needed him to help something. He had no idea what was going on, and no one in the audience except those of us that were aware of this did. And so up there I was able to announce that we were giving him a full ride for the rest of his time. He was, I think he's a sophomore this last year, and he was not expecting it, but he wanted to speak, which is a little unusual. And he shared from his heart how he had a single mom who'd raised him and his brother. His brother wanted to come to Baylor, but they weren't sure he could afford to. And he said, now this will probably mean my brother can come to Baylor. And the most touching part, which most of the audience didn't necessarily see, afterwards we called his mom on FaceTime. And oh my gosh, she was crying. He was crying. We were all crying.
We were crying in the audience hearing the story.
It was such a sweet story. And he was, you find out he's just like the perfect young man to get this recognition, and he will thrive. And this will give him so many opportunities. And he'll go out in the medical field however he chooses to do that and really have an impact.
Yeah, I mean, these are the young people that are going to be giving us the medical care.
Exactly.
And the legal representation and whatever all.
And you want to reduce the financial burden for them. It reduces their need to take out student loans. It may reduce their need to work as much on a part-time basis, which gives them more time to focus on their academics. And all of those things are healthy for certainly their mental well-being and health, but also on their ability to retain and graduate, which is what we want all of them to do.
There is something very big that the university has just recently done. It's a partnership with the Baptist World Alliance.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the Baptist World Alliance is what it says. It's a global organization that brings Baptists together from all around the world, from national conventions, state conventions. There's close to 140 countries that are represented, the Baptist institutions in those countries, at the Baptist World Alliance. Baylor became an official member of that group last year, summer a year ago, and they had not had university institutional members previously. So they had, every 5 years, they have a World Congress, and this year their World Congress was in Australia. So I had the privilege of traveling to Australia and Brisbane to be a part of that. And so we also are partnering with the Baptist World Alliance on a center within Truett Seminary, and we'll have an endowed chair. Lee and Susan Bush, a wonderful Baylor family that has been so generous and deeply engaged in the Baptist community and deeply engaged with Baptist World Alliance as well as Baylor, funded this. And so we are going to work with Baptist World Alliance to really support the growth of sharing the gospel around the world through these Baptist connections globally that we've had some of, but not so many of. So it's a great way. We updated our motto.
I was going to say, yeah.
It ties in perfectly with expanding our motto to pro ecclesia, pro texana, pro mundo, for the church, for Texas, for the world.
For the world, yeah.
And we were already doing a lot, but this just kind of puts a stake in the ground that we really mean this and we're serious about it.
Well, and it was no small gift. It was $2.5 million.
It was.
By
It was
the
a
way,
very nice gift.
from the
And
Bushes. Yeah,
Bushes are lovely people, and
their whole family, I think, came to. I mean,
They
talk
did.
about deep Baylor roots.
They
yeah.
did, and I think they've been very supportive of the Baptist Student Ministries project that is hopefully will break ground soon to build a new Baptist Student Ministries building close to campus,
Yeah.
and they've been very gracious. They're calling the center the Lampsato Center.
Yes, right.
Which I think is Greek for lamp
light,
or light.
Yeah, Matthew 5:16.
Right.
I took this from it. Jesus enjoins his disciples in the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who's in heaven.
And that's actually the scripture we use to underpin our strategic plan, Baylor and Deeds. One translation of that verse says to let your good deeds shine.
Shine.
Yeah,
right.
and
Don't
so that's
hide it
where,
under a bushel.
that's right. That's where the Baylor and Deeds name for our new strategic plan came from. Was based on that
You
scripture.
just finished Illuminate, and
Yes.
so last year Baylor Indeeds. Wow, so much more I want to talk to you about. We're
Sure.
going to take a quick
Okay.
break. And when we come back, we're going to talk football yet.
Well, absolutely.
All right,
It's right around the corner.
I know. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Sonos Arc Ultra, and this is what you need to know about. It represents one of the easiest ways to get into high-quality home cinema without loads of cables and faffing around. And that's because the Arc Ultra provides full Dolby Atmos without any rear speakers thanks to its sound motion technology. And Sonos is actually calling sound motion one of the most significant breakthroughs in audio engineering in nearly 100 years. It's an amazing setup, it sounds absolutely fantastic, I love the absence of fat. If you're a Sonos person, there's a reason you're watching this video.
Baylor University is certainly the crown jewel in Waco's education offerings. How wonderful to hear about exciting things ahead for this great university. Stay with us. We will enjoy some music from Baylor's stellar School of Music.
Let's unbox the all-new walking pad X21. It is the hottest thing on the fitness market right now. Whew. I like it. I like it a lot. Well done, walking pad. So after using the walking pad, I absolutely loved it. For the price, I adore it. I highly recommend it.
Escape into fitness with the Schwinn IC4 bike, providing a premium, heart-pumping indoor cycling experience that combines digital connectivity with superior Schwinn quality. The IC4's smooth, quiet ride features magnetic resistance with 100 micro-adjustable resistance levels. Escape the everyday with the Schwinn IC4 bike, your ticket to a life well lived.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey, past, present, and future. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence, elevate creativity, and honor what matters most. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
And welcome back here with President Linda Livingstone, who is just a delight to spend some time with us today to talk about Baylor and all the great things that are happening there. Your heart is for maintaining the mission of Baylor University and having it become a top flight university, research,
Right.
and all of that. And it's reassuring to me, as a grad, because I think there are people who go, oh, is Baylor going to go the way of Harvard?
Right.
Maybe initially started out as a Christian university, but not so, right? Not going the way of
Absolutely,
Tell
no.
me we're not going the way of
No,
Harvard.
we are deeply committed to our Christian mission, and in fact, I think in Illuminate and in Baylor and Deeds, we've kind of doubled down on our Christian mission.
yeah.
And how do we, as one of the very, very few Christian research universities, R1 universities, play power athletics, we have a responsibility to have a voice in the world, to do research that matters from a Christian perspective, and to have influence globally in the way that secular schools can't, in the way smaller Christian institutions that serve a wonderful purpose can't, because they don't have the scale, the scope, and the support. So we are deeply committed to continuing to advance our Christian mission through the teaching and research and service that happens. And then, frankly, one of the ways we have the most impact is preparing our students to go out and live out their callings in the world in really significant ways. And we send out thousands of students every year that do that.
Yeah. I know there's a nearly $2 million research grant that Baylor is a part of,
Right.
Having to do with mental health in
Right.
church.
Exactly.
Talk about that a little bit.
Right. Yeah. We, mental health for certainly our students, but really across the country and certainly with young people is such a huge issue. And so this grant is really designed to help think through how do churches, help support individuals going through mental health crises and identifying that and helping them. What role does the church play versus what role do mental health professionals and others play? And we have folks on our campus that certainly understand churches well, and then others that understand mental health really well. So it's going to be a wonderful project that I think is going to be extremely valuable to the understanding of mental health and certainly its intersection with the church.
Well, and if federal funding of
Yes.
those kinds of issues is reduced, it's going to fall even more to the church. And also, I mean, that's often the first place somebody will go if they're suffering some sort of a mental health crisis.
Absolutely. And we know there are some pastors that have had wonderful training in that and have lots of experience, or maybe even larger churches might even have staff, but certainly
Right.
among smaller churches and others, there's a real need to provide them with the support and help that they need. And we certainly have some wonderful resources on campus, especially through our ability to do research that can be helpful.
Yeah, even when it comes to crisis pregnancies.
Exactly.
And of course, you've got a population that might be susceptible to that.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. I know there was one research grant though you had to turn back.
Right,
So I
yes.
think we need to just talk about
Sure,
that.
sure.
But it was just determined that it was not in alignment with the precepts of the university, basically.
Right, and inconsistent with our policy on human sexuality. And really what we're working through on that is how we make sure that we engage with faculty earlier in the process and in schools when there might be research that's in some of these difficult, sensitive areas to ensure that what they're doing is certainly in alignment with our policies and practices and mission, while also supporting our faculty to do research in important and difficult areas where
Yeah.
we know, you mentioned the mental health area, that's a difficult area. We need to be doing work in some of those areas to help our churches and our communities. And we want to be able to certainly support our faculty and their freedom to do their research while ensuring that what we're doing is consistent with our policies at Baylor.
Well, let's talk football.
Okay.
Okay, the Big 12 Conference Board of Directors, you chair that, the NCAA Board of Governors. How did that happen for you?
Well, some maybe good news for me is I'm actually rolling off those two positions
Oh,
this
are you?
year.
Okay.
I've
I was
done them
gonna say
both.
you've been there a
I did
bit.
Big 12 for 2 years, and I've done NCAA for 3 years.
Have you really?
Yes.
Okay.
Through, as you can imagine, really challenging times at all levels in college athletics.
Oh, wow.
You know, as we talk about being a Christian university, one of the things we talk about is that part of the reason you want to be in power athletics and be an R1 university is because you want to have a seat at the table to help make a difference on these big national and important issues. And, I think I just had the privilege, partly because I'm at a power conference school and Baylor's been very successful athletically. I have an athletic background, which is a bit unusual for college presidents.
Right, you've been there, played D1.
Exactly.
basketball, so
Brad, my husband did. Our daughter, of course, played and now
Yeah.
coaches D1. And so I just think I was kind of uniquely positioned, and Baylor was uniquely positioned to give me that opportunity. It's been a privilege to serve in both of those capacities. It's been a challenging time for college athletics, but I do think some of the things we've done and some of the decisions we've made, and frankly, some of the court cases that we're working on resolving have helped us have a more stable future, we hope, for college athletics. And so to be really deeply involved in that's been a real opportunity, and frankly, great for Baylor to have that visibility.
Yeah, because things have just totally upended with the portals and the being able to pay
Name, image, and likeness,
athletes.
and the way we do transfers,
Yeah.
and what universities can do versus what they can't.
Oh,
And-
yeah, that used to be a huge thing.
Right.
And now-
There's much more flexibility
I
now.
was going to say,
far
now if
fewer
they're paying
rules.
them,
Yeah. Now, we're working on making sure we have the right guardrails around.
Well, there need to be.
There
yeah.
need to be,
Yeah.
and we want to do everything we can to do that while trying to, manage it in such a way that we don't have to continue to deal with legal issues. It's partly why we've been working on potential legislation in Washington, D.C. to help this legal case that was just settled, the House settlement around antitrust, which gives the universities the opportunity to directly pay name, image, and likeness money to student athletes. It would be helpful to have federal legislation to codify that and ensure that there's some protection around the guardrails that really are embodied in that suit, and also to give some protection from different states wanting to make rules that kind of exempt their institutions from complying with some of the details of that we hope are national guardrails and guidelines. So that's still a work in process, but we're making a lot of progress.
Yeah. Athletics looking good, though. I mean, we've got stability in our coaching staff, right?
Yes, we have such a great alignment of coaches, alignment with our Christian mission, great coaches just in terms of the sport, but deeply committed to certainly their student athletes being the best athletes possible, but also their spiritual development, their personal development. And we're excited about the fall. We've got some exciting things coming up.
Well, when is the first game?
Oh gosh,
It's
it's that
usually-
first weekend. We host Auburn on Friday night. Of that first weekend. I saw one, every pundit has a different ranking, but I saw us as the number one most difficult non-conference schedule on one pundit's list because we start with Auburn and then we go to SMU the next weekend.
Oh.
We come back and play Samford for a family weekend, but it's a brave schedule to start the year, but we have great enthusiasm for Coach Aranda and for this team, and great young men on this team who care deeply about Baylor and have been deeply committed to staying here and helping us to be successful.
Yeah, and of course, Scott Drew is just...
Oh, I guess
He is just, look up joy.
There he is.
Dictionary, and there's Scott's picture.
Of course, Scott has a completely brand new team this year.
I know.
And they, of course, had the opportunity to go together to Germany in the World University Games. And that's, I think, was a great experience to help them build their team kind of in a competitive environment, learn. Because it's very different when you're building completely new team before you go into games later in the fall. So, but I think he's enthusiastic about the team and the players. We, of course, have volleyball and soccer this fall, which is
tennis
great.
is doing great. I think one of the
tennis.
they're doing great.
They're great. We had
golf
golf did really
golf
really
is doing
well.
great.
We had some
Equestrian is doing great.
and track athletes that were so competitive at NCAAs last year. I mean, we have one of the best long jumpers in the country.
Well, and then the other coach, Mulkey.
I know, exactly. I mean, 10.
She is the coach,
10 in a
Mulkey,
row.
now.
And acrobatics and tumbling is going
are-
to become an NCAA championship sport. The first NCAA championship will not be this spring, which is 26. It'll be in 27. But
Really?
they've got enough teams participating now that it will now become an official NCAA sport, which she has been working on for a decade, probably at
Coach
least.
Felicia Mulkey. She is talk about a little dynamo. She certainly is.
She's awesome.
Got a
and-
dynasty going.
That is
now at
exactly
Baylor.
right. It will become more and more difficult to continue that dynasty, but
Yeah.
you want there to
Yeah.
be
Oh,
competition.
yeah.
She's looking forward to teams continuing to grow and develop and being really competitive. But honestly, they might have had the best team they've ever had this last year. They were amazing.
So fun to watch. It is so much fun to watch. I did see something. This is not on sports. In fact, it was today I heard this. And this was something called Resume Genius. And it was
Okay.
a survey. And it said 1 in 4 Zoomer workers regrets going to college. Had you?
I did not see that.
It's-
That's interesting. Zoomer workers is an interesting term. And it'd be interesting, and I'll have to read this study because I haven't seen
Yeah.
it, so I don't know who they surveyed or anything is kind of what kind of work Zoomer workers are doing versus
What they were doing. Well,
Yeah.
19% of them said their degree did not make a difference in what
Right.
they were doing.
Yeah. And what you don't know is, does that mean they're underemployed for what their degree
Right,
was,
right.
or if it just is in a different field? I think it's one of the reasons that one of the things we have to do in higher education is prepare students to be adaptable, because we know, and I don't know the data off the top of my head, but the jobs that exist today are not going to be the jobs that exist 2, 3, 5 years from now. So while we're preparing students for their first job, what we really need to do is prepare them for their third and fourth job, which we didn't used to think about this so much because so many people went to a company and stayed for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And
We got the gold watch,
with the
after
way technology is changing and artificial intelligence, we have to prepare our students to adapt and grow and develop so that their degree isn't just about did it prepare them for that first job, but it prepared them to adapt and change for whatever jobs they might need or skill sets they might need in the future. So it's a really, in some ways, a broader way of thinking about how we're preparing students for their lives and their careers.
Right, that you're really not going to college to learn how to do a job.
Right.
That you're probably going to be taught when you start the job what you're doing there, but to teach you how to think and teach you. I even heard it said that it's not for the hours you spend on the job, but the hours that you spend outside the job.
I think
how you live your life.
Exactly. I think all of that is really important. And we absolutely want to prepare students for the careers and the jobs they get when they get out, because that's really important. But it is about how we prepare them for life broadly and to be successful humans in life, both in their work and their careers, but also in what they do in their communities, their families, and in other ways.
Yeah, and certainly Baylor has been committed to that for sure. What's the most misunderstood thing about Baylor?
Gosh,
that you've noticed?
Oh my goodness gracious! This is just a little. I mean, students don't actually realize we live in the All-Britain house on campus, which is
really
strange. So that's not a.
Are they surprised when they see?
We get that question. It's like one of the most common questions we get. Do you guys actually live in the All-Britain house? Yeah, we actually live in the All-Britain house. That's where we live. So that's a kind of a fun, interesting one. I think on a broader level. It's continuing to educate people about what it means to be a Christian research university and we're a large private institution with 20,000 students, and we have a diverse population that comes to Baylor. Most and many come in large part because of our Christian mission, but they come because of our academic mission, because of some of the programs that we offer. They want to come because we got big time athletics, and it really is this combination of being a Christian university, a research university, and power college athletics that positions us very uniquely. And I think helping people understand what a unique place in higher education that is and what unique opportunities that gives us, but also it's a challenging space to live in sometimes because there are institutions that are live in more niches than that, instead of being kind of a broad-based global research university with a Christian mission. And so I think it's continuing to educate people about what that means as a Christian university, because it is unique both among Christian institutions of higher education as well as secular institutions of higher education.
Well, you are the woman for the job.
Well, I appreciate that.
I mean, really, well, your background, first of all, in organizational science, I mean, I thought, how perfect for somebody who's going to be over a huge organization like a university to understand how people function.
Well, it has certainly been helpful to me. It's funny.
Bet.
When I was at Baylor the first time, I was Associate Dean of Graduate Programs, and Blaine McCormick, who was a colleague in the management department where I was, came by one day and he said, "So, Linda, how is it to do it and not just teach it?"
Yeah,
and
really.
I said, well, it's a lot harder.
The old saying,
it's a lot harder to do it than to teach it, although teaching it is important. But but it certainly has been a helpful background for me in the work that I do, because in what you're doing, I mean, organizations are about the people in the organization. It's not, I mean, the buildings are great and they're important, but at the end of the day, the work gets done by people, and the mission gets transmitted by people, and the culture is developed with people. And so that background I have in organizational behavior and leadership, it's certainly been valuable to me. I hope others think it's been valuable to Baylor as well.
Well, it's remarkable. We have kind of buried the lead in this whole discussion, and that's that you were the mother of the bride.
Oh,
that's another hat that you got to wear. Well, so tell me, your beautiful daughter Shelby got married in May.
Yes, we have an only child, Shelby, and she came back a year ago to be one of our assistant volleyball coaches, and she had a serious boyfriend at the time. They were not engaged, and he was coaching at the Naval Academy. And once she came back to Waco, they knew that eventually that they were going to be serious enough probably to get engaged, but we needed to get them in the same city.
Yeah.
This is a long way to get to the wedding, but it's a really
No, I
important
know,
part of
that's an
getting
important
to the
part.
wedding. It's an
No,
important part of
I
getting to the
understand
wedding.
that fully.
And MCC made the decision to add a women's volleyball program.
Yeah.
And so Kyle, our daughter's husband now, applied for the job and went through a national search process and was selected as to start the MCC volleyball program, which launches this August. So I'm going to encourage people not just to go to Baylor volleyball and football, but to go to MCC volleyball as well.
For sure.
And so Kyle got that job. He was named right at the end of last fall, and then moved to Waco in January. They got engaged in January, and we did a very quick wedding plan and had a beautiful wedding on May 10th, and they're thriving. They bought a home in just out behind Baylor Scott and White Hospital in Sendero Springs, and he's coaching those players at MCC. Shelby's coaching the Baylor players, and they're doing so great. And it was a beautiful, special wedding. So
well, so your best advice for the mother of the bride.
For me, what saved me, we hired a really good wedding planner. So I'm all in for good wedding planners.
All on that.
We did it. We planned it over the spring semester, and
That's pretty quick.
We did it in a 5-month window.
That's good on you. I mean, a lot of people take years.
Oh, I know, and I couldn't have done it without a good wedding planner.
Sure.
Shelby's very organized and focused as well, and fortunately, we think a lot alike on things, and so good wedding planner, and frankly, don't get too stressed out. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to get married and they're going to say, I do. And you're going to have lots of wonderful family and friends there to celebrate. And it's going to be fabulous, regardless of whether every little detail goes as you
and great
think it's
pictures.
Oh my gosh, the pictures, the memories. And the thing I thought was so special when we got to the wedding is it's the one time you bring together people from every aspect of your child's life and their spouse, their fiance's life in one place to celebrate them. People who don't know each other, didn't have connections before. And it's just a really unique and special experience. And of course, she's our only, and I had not really done that before. And that was, for me, was one of the most, it was a real blessing to see that and see people who've loved her whole life celebrate her and Kyle together.
Yeah. Well, I do have to say I saw a little bit of video of the first gent dancing at the reception.
My goodness.
He was having a big time.
He had so much fun, and it was a really joyous celebration that evening.
Yeah, and so now you have a new member of the family. You did not lose your daughter.
No, we have gained a son-in-law.
Yeah,
and
how fun is
Kyle
that?
is such a special young man, and he, of course, loves Shelby dearly as she does him, and we have just welcomed him into our family and feel like we have a son now in a very, very special way. So we're very excited, and we're frankly so excited they're actually in Waco.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge. I'm really glad for you all. That is wonderful. Well, this has been a delight for me to get to spend this time with you and just kind of get a good overview of how things are going.
Sure.
We're just looking right across out the window at Baylor, so yeah.
There's the great views here. The great views here, Ann.
Oh yeah, they're the towers. They're just right there. And there's No, it really is. It is a gem for the city of Waco, and you are a gem for Baylor University. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to visit, and what a blessing and privilege it is to be in Waco and to be a part of Baylor. Thank you.
Amen. Well, stay with us. We've got more of the show ahead.
Concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns and expand access to pet care. Book your first appointment today.
Stick around for Act Locally News with Elizabeth Riley. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Ann Harder Show on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
I just got my Colgate Advanced LED Whitening Treatment in the mail, and I am very excited to have dramatically whiter teeth in just 10 days. My teeth are going to be 6 shades whiter. The treatment is enamel safe and hassle-free. It's even designed for my sensitive teeth. Let's open it up. Inside we have the blue light whitening device. It's a charger for after each treatment as well. There's a full 10-day supply, and it looks easy to apply. Order yours today at shop.colgate.com.
Hi, my name's Erica, and today I'm going to be taking you through my skincare routine using the Tasmanian Spring Water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself. It's packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid and fermented sea kelp to reduce redness and irritation, which I experience daily. So that's it. It's so quick and so easy, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
Performing with my students on stage it's such a special experience. I have to say, it's just, I work with my students closely. I get to know them so well, and each one of them is so individual and have such a unique personality. And then we're playing all together, the same piece, making the music together.
I'm a freshman here at Baylor. This is my first semester and I've really enjoyed it so far. I'm a nutrition science major, and then I'm secondary majoring in violin performance. And it's just been like an overall really great experience. I know that I was so excited to go to Baylor, and now being here is just really kind of a dream come true. I didn't really think I would end up all the way in Texas, but that is kind of where the Lord led me, and I've just been really enjoying my time here so far.
What I found the best thing about Baylor are all the resources that are around campus. All the professors are willing to help you get to where you need to be in, whether that's your college life or your life after college. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my own professor helping me get to Baylor in the first place and figuring out what I want to do after I leave Baylor.
I really love Baylor because it provides such a loving Christian community for so many people. This is one of the most interesting campuses to me specifically because it really intersects a lot of high academic integrity with Christian faith values. So I think that's something that really brought me to Baylor.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really embodies the intersection between academic learning and Christian community is our faculty to student ratio, especially in school music. I see some of the same 3 or 4 professors for theory and musicianship here, and every time I walk into their classroom, I know that they care about me and what's going on in my life, and I know they want to see me succeed.
I chose Baylor over other institutions for several reasons. One, I really wanted a Christian environment, and I just really wanted to surround myself with other like-minded Christians. And then I also really appreciated Baylor's really strong academic side as well. Baylor's nutrition science program really drew me in. And then also, I really am very passionate about music. I've played violin, so Baylor's secondary major program really drew me in as well because I could also do music with science, whereas a lot of other places would only let me minor in music. But this way I could do a lot of playing and further my violin playing.
What I think Baylor prides itself on is definitely the opportunities that each student gets to have. No matter if you're a graduate student or undergrad, no matter what level you are at, we make sure that the level playing field is the same and that everyone gets equal opportunity here at Baylor University.
I think the Baylor community extends beyond the campus. There's so many opportunities that we get, specifically as music students, to get some real world experience as we're pursuing our education. And you get to work with a lot of people who have been in the field for a long time, a lot of people who have a genuine love for the Lord, and you get to come with that experience once you've graduated, that you don't feel so overwhelmed going into the workforce.
As musicians, our circle is so small, and so that community and that networking is also really important.
Another thing that I really appreciate are the numerous amounts of opportunities there are to further whatever education experience you're looking for. Since I'm a nutrition science major, I get to be in the lab every other week. And then as far as music, I've had so many cool opportunities to be able to play and perform this semester. We've had many concerts as an orchestra, and I've also gotten to perform solo works in studio class. And when you're surrounded with people in the music department who genuinely want to see you succeed, you can really just become the player that you want to be. So that's kind of my experience in this area.
My absolute favorite tradition that we have at Baylor University is the all-free Thanksgiving dinner that happens the week before Thanksgiving on campus, where in the Fountain Mall, everyone gets free Thanksgiving food, whether you are a student or not. I love seeing all the families come in with their newborns, people bring their dogs to their event, and it's just a great way to feel a sort of community here on Baylor campus.
One of the things you'll hear a lot about at Baylor is just the numerous amounts of traditions we have here. Running the line has been something really fun. It's this huge thing where they're running across the football field, and there's just so much hype and excitement before the football game. It's such an exciting experience.
One of my favorite traditions at Baylor is running the line on game day. Get to sprint across the field and then greet the football team as they come out. On the last home game of the year, the seniors get to run the line one last time as well.
Once we've had a full day of lectures and music lessons, and we have the opportunity to go to football games to kind of, decompress after a week of classes. But Baylor hosts a whole bunch of traditions. Baylor was actually one of the first institutions to have a homecoming parade. It's really cool. This is something that they've been really proud of for the past several years. It's always fun to see all the different balloons, all the different organizations that come and represent just how widespread the Baylor community is.
Homecoming, I attended that, and it was a really fun time. You just this huge bonfire, and people are all around, and there's just so much excitement about homecoming in general here at Baylor. There's the big homecoming parade, and then of course the homecoming football game as well. And it's just something that all students really look forward to.
We are all so supportive of each other. I feel like everyone just gets along with everyone. No one's feeling left out.
This would be a wonderful opportunity if you're looking for a Christian institution where you're able to learn music and be able to have wonderful connections and a great opportunity to network with your peers and future employers.
I have really nothing but good things to say about Baylor. It's a beautiful environment to be in. The campus is gorgeous. The faculty and staff really care about you as an individual. Yeah, so come to Baylor.
I cannot say but wonderful things I've had with my students, my colleagues, staff, and pretty much everybody at Baylor. After all, people are what makes an institution, and Baylor's greatest assets are its people.
Deer Valley, where innovative comfort and stylish design meet. Bathroom solutions. Smart toilets. Kitchen solutions. Deer Valley. Stylish living, savvy savings.
If I've learned anything in the last year, it's that to show up as my best, I need to make intentional choices. And that goes back to the absolute basics. Number one, it's I have to move. And number two, to stay hydrated.
I have been using molecular hydrogen from Water and Wellness to support my health and well-being. It helps with energy, recovery, liver health, and more. The hydrogen has been a game-changing addition to my own wellness routine. The tablets dissolve into my water and deliver powerful minerals to help my body feel its best all day long.
The Killeen Pickle Festival is happening this Sunday, August 10th, at the Special Events Center on Young Drive. With live performances, giveaways, and pickled flavor everything, this is the perfect place for our pickle-loving friends. Try pickle soft serve, pickle lemonade, and even pickle pizza Sunday, August 10th at the Killeen Special Events Center. Imagination Library Waco is hosting the 3rd annual Great Duck Race on Sunday, October 19th. All proceeds will be donated to Imagination Library Waco, which delivers free books to children around the Waco community to promote literacy and reading. Ducks will be ready for adoption on September 3rd, but they are still currently searching for volunteers, so if you're interested, check out Imagination Library Waco's website for more information. Lastly, the Levitt Amp concert series is just around the corner. Starting on September 3rd, Creative Waco, the Waco Downtown Farmers Market, and the Levitt Foundation are bringing back the outdoor concert series to the Bridge Street Plaza on Wednesday evenings. Check out the lineup that has already been announced and be sure to look out for more information coming your way. I'm Elizabeth Riley with Your Act Locally News, and I'll see you next time.
The 4-burner, side-burner, side-sear burner with Clearview glass stainless steel grill from Monument Grills. Made of tempered glass, which is strong, insulated, and allows you to check your grilling without lifting the lid. Our porcelain-coated cast iron cooking grids offer a large cooking surface of 513.3 square inches, primary cooking area, with even heat cooking. The Monument Grills include LED control knobs and are easy to light with pilotless electronic ignition. Better grilling, better value, Monument Grills.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. With our feature called Popple Direct, you can pop one of your links directly. I turned Direct on for Instagram. Now when I pop someone's phone, it opens directly to my Instagram. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Let's be honest. The hemp industry can get confusing with acronyms like CBD, CBG, and CBN. What is CBN? I'm glad you asked. While CBN is extracted from the hemp plant, it does not produce any psychoactive effects or high as seen from THC, and is not habit-forming. At Slumber, we designed our entire product line around CBN because of its ability to help you fall asleep and stay asleep naturally. All of our CBN is sourced from Colorado-grown hemp and lab-tested. If you're new to CBN, give one of our sample packs a try. All of our products come with a 30-day guarantee, so you can sleep on it.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. It's the first FDA-cleared birth control app. No hormones, no side effects, and 93% effective with typical use, and 98% effective with perfect use. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Pill, pour, blend, and enjoy. All within the comfort of my own home.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, blend, and enjoy. Fast and easy, and I'm out the door.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. It's the first FDA-cleared birth control app. No hormones, no side effects, and 93% effective with typical use, and 98% effective with perfect use. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Please join us tomorrow when we get some tips on wellness from Baylor Scott and White Dr. John Myers. Have a great day.